If you spent $1 back in July of 2003, it would have the same purchasing power that $1.66 has today. But something you might find interesting is that if you were to have bought $1 worth of silver at that time, it would be worth $4.78 today, meaning that the price of silver has nearly outpaced inflation by 3 times. Because every dollar you put into silver at that time was purchasing enough silver to sell for $4.78 today, which is nearly 3 times that $1.66 figure that is your dollar adjusted for inflation during the same period of time. And you have to keep in mind that when you have your money in the bank, they're not adjusting it for inflation. So if your interest rate doesn't cover the difference, you might actually be losing money by just storing it in your bank account. This is why certain assets like precious metals are valuable, not because they're going to make you wealthy, but rather they act as a store of value that not only counteracts inflation, but if you're willing to be patient over a long period of time, can actually grow your wealth substantially as well. So that's why I don't understand why I keep on getting comments like this, claiming that silver is actually a terrible investment because it loses value over the decades. We just saw the figures and those weren't cherry picked. It just happens to be that silver over every long period of time goes up in value because eventually it does end up increasing in price. Of course, certain price hikes that happened in the past do not reflect this nature. When the price spiked up back in 2011, that didn't reflect this. But if you were doing your homework, you could have seen that the same thing happened back in the 1980s and realized that silver was about to crash. So therefore, you could have sold at the top and then bought back at the bottom. If you just do a little bit of homework, you can actually figure out how to invest in precious metals the right way. And ultimately, all I can really say is that stop blaming the rules of the game when you didn't even read them in the first place.